love. It's just me, Emily. Welcome to my show where we explore how to discover your soul's purpose, embody your essence, and live a life in alignment with your truth. Today, I am joined by Berlin based DJ Leah Luna, who is renowned for crafting transformative and immersive musical experiences all around the world. Each of her sets is a testament to her passion and purpose, and I've totally seen that creeping on your Instagram, offering a dynamic experience that creates unforgettable moments on the dance floor. In addition to DJing, Leah is also a teacher and mentor for aspiring DJs, and I would also call her a spiritual guide, although it's not officially in her bio. So, welcome to the show, Leah. I am so glad that you are here today.
Thank you, Emily, for having me. It's such an honor to be on your show.
I love it. So I discovered Leah literally just like creeping on Instagram. I follow DJs and I love listening to music. And when I saw your page, I was just like, whoa, this woman is legitimately the embodiment of someone who is living their purpose. Like it just oozed out in like on like the screen of like my phone, you know? And I think to be able to embody that energy and for me to feel that is such a gift. So, we're going to dive into how music is a pathway to soul and also how you discovered your soul's purpose of DJing and if you believe that it is. But I first want to start out the episode with just asking you, and I ask this to all of my guests, what masks do you think you wear? And when you take them off, what do you see?
I love that question. What a great start, first of all. I'm like, let's go. It's getting juicy already. My God. Yes, when I tune into masks, I mean, we're all wearing masks. For me, I think the biggest one is perfectionism in a way that I'm trying to hide behind perfectionism. And so, especially like in the space of DJing and mentoring, there's sometimes we can feel there's an expectation of you always have to have it together. You have to be perfect. You got to do all the things. You can't be unperfect. I had that in the beginning a lot. You like to show up polished all the time and be confident every day. And I'm just like, I'm not confident every day. I'm not feeling the best self every day. So I did have some days where I definitely put on a mask to be like, okay, I have to show up now. I have to try and be something that I'm actually not feeling right now. Yeah. But working with that, right, and stepping out of that as well. And when taking them off, right, what I feel then is like I am human, right? I'm imperfect, but showing up in my authenticity is what it's about. So when I take off these masks, I'm like, cool, I don't have to be perfect every day. Massive learning for me in the past. I take off this mask and they can just see someone who is deeply in tune with their journey, deeply in tune with their heart, who just wants to support basically humanity and just like moving forward with, whatever we have to serve. And so that's like, I feel what happens when I take that mask off. They see me as a human, me as an authentic human, with all the humor, all the love, all the imperfections, and we all got that.
Oh my gosh, I resonate with that so much. Perfectionism is a big one for me. And I think for anyone who's out there kind of in the public eye, it's so hard to just to remove that and say, "Hey, like I'm just going to be me." And I think when we do, it connects us to our audiences, to people to clients, to aspiring DJs, right? To probably your fans and your audience members, because it's like we can all connect to that. Like we're humans, we're messy, and we're imperfect. And we're still worthy of love and amazing.
I love that.
So I love that.
So true.
So you have described music as a love language, and you also have a song entitled Love Language. So I'm curious if you can just tell us about how is music a love language?
Oh, I love it. I get goosebumps even thinking about it, because for me, music had, now for a long time, always been a way to kind of universally express emotions and universally just express what's kind of, awake or present inside of me. And so what happens with love language is that a couple of months ago, I was just sitting there sending songs to my friends, and I, received songs back. It's like this back and forth kind of weird situation. We're like nerding about songs. And what basically happened then, I was like, oh my God, like thinking about the love languages I have in my life. I'm like, touch, and we know all these love languages, like words of affirmation. I'm like, wait a second, I keep sending songs to people that I love. I feel music as a love language. Like, no one ever said that. I've never heard that, but it's a thing. And so what happened in that moment, I just took my phone and made a video. In that moment, I made a video, put it up on Instagram, and I got basically someone took that audio and made a draft of a song with it. And then we co-produced that song made from a completely
Ah,
random, fresh moment, and this unfolded now into basically co-created art piece, a track that is about to be
wow.
released. And so that is super exciting. The essence of that track is basically just like this, like really coming into the moment, into the space, into the power of music and what it can actually do for us, how it can bring us together and all the things. And so that is why music is a love language for me. It's really so, so beautiful.
That is so amazing. I love the synchronicity of you just posting that video and then someone taking the audio and, like, creating art out of
Mm,
it. I mean, talk about, like, the universe being like, "Yes, go, Leah. Let's do this." And I totally send songs to my loved ones too. It's so true.
right?
Like, I love that. It's so
It's a
beautiful.
thing.
So music obviously is so much more than just about, like, shaking your ass and having fun. It's a love language. For me, it has also helped me
Mm.
heal. And so I'm curious, like, what is your perspective on using music as medicine?
Oh, yes, music as medicine. I feel like the root of it all is like we've been using music like since humanity discovered that we can make music, and it started with our voice, it started with rocks and stone, like whatever, we really started
Yeah.
making music in a very early age, and music had been used for healing purposes by many ancient tribes, and we kind of forgot about the power of it. That's the biggest part here. It's
Mhm.
not a new discovery. It's something we've known for such a long time, just forgotten. And so I feel now we're rediscovering that music can kind of resonate with the human body and bypass our like logical mind and really touch us in the very like in the innermost way. It can touch us to the core of our very being, right? And it can go
Mhm.
straight to the heart and really touch us and support us in moving emotions through the body. If it's like grief
Yeah.
or joy, or it can create space to go inwards, that's so beautiful. It can really shift our energetic states in really profound ways. And when you experience it yourself, you're like, oh, wow, music can do that for me. You know that it's possible for others as well, right? And so, yeah, there's so many times that I actually have to cry during DJ sets when I just play, simply because I'm
Mm.
standing there and I'm like, wow, yeah, music really is healing. And I witness these people having healing experiences. And I'm like, wow, I'm really able to be a channel in this moment, right? And so,
Yeah.
yeah, that's the healing power that I can feel with music every time that I work with it. Yeah.
Absolutely, I love that, and I've experienced that too, just hearing something and it takes you on this, like,
Mhm.
emotional journey, right? From, like can be, like, rage and anger all the way back into joy and love, and I try to do a lot of ecstatic dancing as a part of my morning practice, and, like, just moving it through is so, so powerful, and, you said something there that was really interesting
Mm.
to me. It's that, music has been around forever, but we've just forgotten,
Yeah.
and I think that that's so true with where we are as a society
Mhm.
right now. Like, I can see that in so many different parallels of life, and, like, our work right now is to remember,
100%.
to remember these tribal parts, the medicine that has always been here. So I love that. So you were also saying, when you've been DJing, you felt emotion
Mhm.
and you're kind of this conduit. So I mean, I'd love to hear more about how you are a conduit and
Mhm.
also like what else are you doing when you're up there DJing? Because it seems like there's just so much going on, but you're like having this badass
Oh my god.
time.
I love the way you put it, honestly. Yes, there's a lot going on. So I thought about it. I'm like, there's actually so much going on in my brain when I'm on stage, but at the same time, it's so quiet and present. you know?
Mm.
So what's happening when you're on stage there is like, of course, I do lots of pre-work when I play a set. So I do set intentions. I approach a set with a lot of like very energetically and very aware and mindful. So I set intentions. I kind of choose songs very often if I'm not doing a spontaneous wing it set. So I kind of plant a seed before I go on stage, and then I go on stage. And yes, there's always nervousness, right? There's always nervousness, and you're like, oh my God. Like, it's like every time is the first time. I don't know why this never stops. I DJ it so many times, but every time I'm nervous. And then I'm there. And once I press play and every technical thing works and everything is in flow, I can just be present and enjoy the music
Mm.
and have fun and feel how this is an experience where I'm not only sharing music with them and they are like dancing and having fun. It's something that I noticed from the very first DJ set I've ever played, that it's an exchange. So when I'm standing there, I'm sending out the music I've chosen to the people. The people are giving me back their energy or their reactions, their moves, like whatever it is. And so like we're feeding off each other. It's this beautiful exchange, which
Yeah.
is kind of, we are like, firing each other up. And this is how it feels. You're standing behind the decks and you're not like, oh, I'm the DJ, I'm the main center of attraction. This is not it. No, that's not it for me. You're like more like in this energy of, oh my God, we are like firing up each other. I'm gonna send bangers to you, or beautiful, soulful tunes, whatever it is, and you decide what
Yeah.
you do with it, right? But no matter what, I'm having fun.
Yeah. Oh my God, it's so cool. It's such a, like, co-created experience is what it sounds like to me. And so you're feeding off of the audience. You're also dealing with, all of the technical aspects, like you said. And then are you, like, channeling anything, like, from source too? Or do you feel like how does spirit play a
Mm,
role in all of this as well? And maybe I'll just start first, like,
yeah,
as an audience member, because I've never been behind a DJ booth, but that sounds rad. Like I feel like every concert I've been to is like a spiritual
mm,
experience as well. So what would be the role of spirit for you or for
yeah.
just in general?
I love that. I love that question because it plays such a massive role. That's when I started. The first thing I noticed was that it's not necessarily me who's choosing the songs, but it felt like those
I
songs.
got chills.
Yes.
So
It
good.
felt like those songs found me from the very first set. I had this magical experience that my mentor, I had a mentor in the very early on. She gave me these tracks and she's like, make a set out of it. And I look at these tracks and I'm like, I don't resonate with them. Something's like, I don't feel them. So I sit down and download tracks, and all of a sudden they just pour in on Spotify. Spotify is like this weird machine now for me that just feeds me tracks. It's like a being. It's like a relationship I have with it. It's kind of scary. But so Spotify feeds me the tracks, right? And I'm sitting there and I'm like, this track is good. This track, what is going on? I download the tracks. I play the set. It is super magical. I have this like mind blowing experience, and I'm like, okay, this is more than just me. This is not just me DJing. This is also
Mm,
me
yeah.
being part of something higher. That was a couple of years ago now. And so with this awareness, I stepped into the world of DJing, very blessed to be going this way. And
Yeah.
then I noticed that, every time that I'm up there, I'm definitely, there's a shape and form of energy that you're playing with, right? You're there.
Mhm.
You are in exchange with these people, is what we just said. And at the same time, you're like, you're stepping, for me, because it is definitely part of my purpose, I'm stepping into this, like, this energy, this expression that it feels like nothing can hold me back, but I'm just in my heart. I'm not trying to
Yeah.
be someone anymore. I'm like just myself, loving what I do and sharing out of my heart and really tuning. I've never talked about it like this, but actually tuning in, I'm like, that is how it feels. And that's the energy that gets
Yeah.
transmitted. So that gets channeled to the people that they can experience it for themselves. That is how it feels.
Oh my God, and it's, like, magnetic,
Mm-hmm.
it's contagious,
Mm-hmm.
and that's, like, what I meant, when I was talking in the intro about how I found you. I was like, I could feel that, like, energy flowing through
Mm-hmm.
you, and, there's such a difference, and I haven't seen a DJ do it this way because most of them are I'm sure they're probably like you, like, just channeling and, like, feeling it, um, but, like, the mind gets in the way so much with anything that we do in life because we wanna figure it out,
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, I don't think that you would effectively be able to create from that space if it's, like, all mind-based. It has to come from a deeper part of us,
Yeah,
which is, soul, intuition, heart, to really create that energy and
fully.
that dialogue, between spirit, between you as the conduit, and then the audience. So, it's so cool. I love it, and it's just so obvious in the limited, amount of time that I've known you and seen you, but, like, I know there's more.
Thank you.
Um, so one of your videos I creeped on, you were talking about how you were mixing, like, 2 different genres,
Mm,
and you had all this kind of doubt going into it, but then you discovered that it created something really beautiful, and then you distilled this amazing lesson around, like, again, how the mind can limit us so much, and when you're creating something, we have to be
yeah.
open, to something new. It's never been done before, and, it just felt like music as a metaphor is kind of
Mm,
what came up for me,
mm.
and so I'm interested, how is music a metaphor? And if that's not quite the right word,
No, it's
we
like
can go from
honestly, it's
there.
not it's the I think actually the perfect word because metaphor can be so many things. And
Mhm.
I'm feeling it. It's like in life we are constantly um blending elements together like we do in music. So actually like it's a total metaphor. Think about it. It's like, music, we're merging different art pieces together and we are merging different elements and different layers and sounds and substances into this experience. And aren't we doing a similar thing in life, like working with different energies, different expressions of ourselves, different experiences, layers of ourselves, emotions here and there? So it's like
Yeah.
we are always trying to make sense of it, right? And same with DJing. I listen to a set and I want to make sense of, sometimes I want to make sense of what I just did there and I can't. And it's the same in life. It's the same in life. I'm like, damn, this transition was fire. But I don't know how that just happened. I kind of obviously get the technical, but I'm like, holy moly, that just happened. And I have the same in life. So it's definitely so deeply connected, I see. Even DJ sets for me are an expression of very often what's currently present in me or what's in the room. It's a fusion. But sometimes I do create sets that I feel like is something that someone might need in the moment. Like I do something called movement
Mhm.
drops, where people can take like 25 minutes
Yeah.
to just drop in into a little guided journey, into their bodies and such. So it's like always an experience for that. Yeah.
Okay, can we talk a little bit more about that? Because I remember I was listening to your SoundCloud this
Mm,
morning, like, I was fully, like, just
I
channeling
love
you,
that.
um, for this interview,
Mm,
and you had a recording that said, like, "Let's take a moment of silence," and you, like, literally guided people back into your body and, like, your body being a temple, and that's why I call you, like, a
mm,
spiritual guide, like, that's what it felt like to me. So yeah, can you just tell us a little bit more about, like, how you do that and what's the intention behind that or
100%.
your process?
Yeah, I love that. Well, the beautiful thing is what I feel with music. We are living in a world where everything is quite fast paced. Everything has to be quick. We have to work fast, and we don't have time, and everything is just like so much. So there's a constant overwhelm. Even social media, there's a constant
Mm,
overflow of energies, information, and we have such a short patience and focus. And so one thing I noticed is with DJ sets, we're even used to, in DJ sets now, to have one DJ, another DJ. There are experiences, where DJs play and people are very present, but very often, like, even music is like this side thing. And so,
yeah.
one thing that is so important for me, like, right from the beginning, I was like asking myself the question, like, what happens if we really ask the people who are present, like, to be present,
Mhm.
to not just be there
Yeah.
physically, but like, be there, like take a moment, just quiet the mind and notice what happens when you quiet the mind and then allow the music to flow through you. It's like next level, especially many people who might
Yeah.
never have experienced music really moving them deeply. Then I'm always like, okay, like let's just try. Like even people who are not open to it, it's like just try it. Close your eyes, take a breath, or people who are very deep in their journey. Also, close your eyes and take a breath and feel what's present in you and move with that into the set. That is kind of the
Mhm.
intention, right? Look what's there, see if it wants to move, or whatever you need in the moment, because you are the only person knowing what you need in the moment, and this is where we have to get to.
Yeah. I love that, and it's so true, like, you've been to the concerts where people are, like, on their phone the whole time or just, hanging out with their friends and the music, it's there, but it's, like, background, and, I went to a concert this summer. Do you know who the DJ Lane 8?
Yes.
Okay, he's from Denver,
Mm-hmm.
and which is where I am, he no phones are allowed, and I, like, loved
So
that
good.
because he was able to unite the whole audience. We were able to go into those, like, moments of, like, stillness where it got really quiet, and then all together the energy would just, like,
Mm.
build so much, and I had this, like, image of, if everyone's cell phone's out, you think of just energy, and it's like the energy then gets fragmented into, like, the 5 people that they're texting or the,
Mm.
like, thousands that they just posted to on social media, and if there's none of that, it's like all that energy just stays there, like, in the moment, and you can feel it in your body when everyone is dropped in and present.
Yeah,
So I love that you do that,
100%.
and yeah, beautiful.
That's what you said, like, to add on to that, because it's,
Yeah,
gosh, what you're saying is so needed these days. We were so used now to, and I mean, I do it myself. I take my phone out and take pictures and such, like,
totally.
right? It's part of my work. But the more I do that, the more I also enjoy to not do that and have a space where it's
Mhm.
like, let's not take out our phones, right? It's something so special where people are
Yeah,
present. You're with the people now. They're not like in their 15 messages, like you say. They're with each other and with the person playing, and it creates a container. This is how it feels. It creates a container that can really unfold.
that's the word.
Mm.
Yeah, it's a sacred space
Yeah,
then. I love that. So
100%.
true. So I wanna shift into your story.
Mm.
How did you become a DJ? How did you discover that this was your soul's purpose?
For me, honestly, to dial back a couple of years, when I was
Mhm.
younger, as a child, I grew up thinking that I'm not creative. Because
Mm.
when I was drawing, like in art class and such, I was drawing pictures and everyone was so good. And I'm sitting there and it looks like I was like 15, let's say, and it looks like a 10-year-old drew it. And I'm like, maybe not that bad, but you know what I mean? Like, just as a little, of course, it's all, judgmental. In that moment, I was judgmental of myself, definitely. I was like, oh my God, that looks so bad, in that state of mind I was in that time. And I thought, I'm just not creative. I'm not here to be an
Mhm.
artist as in painter, or, I'm just not here for that. So that was a belief I had for a long time. And what then happened is I finished school, finished my, I did social work, so I was always working with people. And I decided to go to New Zealand. I was like, all of a sudden, before I go deeper into anything or build any shape and form of life, let me just go to this country on the other side of the world, because why not, right? So I
Why
did
not?
that, and I went to New Zealand, had the experiences of my life, had a van there and traveled, and music actually had always been like a part of me, listening to it, having my own little playlist, never sharing it with anyone. I thought it's not perfect, so I'm not sharing it. Um, and then I was in a moment of time that I met someone in New Zealand, had a relationship, we split up, and I was really in a dark moment of my soul. This relationship
Mm.
really took me in, and I felt so lost in that moment that we split. And during our split, funnily enough, he had DJ decks. And I always was like, why are you DJing? What does that even, like, what's the substance of it? In that transition
Mhm.
phase, which was long, sometimes a bit toxic, and here push and pull, he showed me some basics of mixing, and I'm like, that's kind of cool. That feels kind of cool. But then we split, and I started using music as my healing. I listened to music. I was laying on my bed by myself, feeling so alone, and
Mhm.
music was the only thing that was there. And then I noticed, wait, what's happening here right now? Like, music is there for me, and it's shifting me, it's
Mm.
supporting me. And all of a sudden, this spark came up. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna kind of, you know, do music, or like just do
Mm.
some playlists for myself. And I'm not joking. 1 week later, a friend comes into my flat, still the flat I was previously living in with my ex partner. And she's like, Leah, this mentor, she's doing a DJ training here in New Zealand. In like 1 week's time, one spot got free. I just had a feeling to tell you, because I don't know why. It's on Facebook. Check it out. And I'm like, I don't know if I should invest in this now. Investment, mentoring. I'm like, my body says yes. in that moment, my body said yes for the first time in my life. I did it, and it changed my life. I played my
Yeah.
first set. I noticed, I was like, music really is art. Like, life guided me here. Like, what just happened? I had another awakening,
Yeah.
kind of. And I was like, no looking back from there. And I played my first DJ set at a festival after 2.5 months after doing this mentoring training. So I was just like a
What?
rocket. I'm like, let's go, nothing, all or nothing. That was my mindset.
Oh my god, that's so amazing, Leah. So, what I wanna just, like, distill for our listeners there, because this is about discovering your soul's purpose,
Mm,
this podcast is, like, and correct me if I'm wrong, but what I'm hearing is that it was in the breakdown moment that you had your breakthrough. And often when we're in these, like, rock bottom moments, in grief, in darkness, in the void is where we finally get the fuck out of our head and we listen to something deeper within us. And like you said, it was just a hell yes in my body, and it might not have made any sense, but, like, you went for it.
yeah,
And I love that. Celebrating you for following the calling.
thank you.
Um, so does that feel true for you
100%. Like
or
what you say with, especially in those dark moments we find ourselves, I always say that, sometimes we have to really break through a certain wall. We're like standing or hitting this wall, and we're
Mhm.
like in front of it, or we are like really feeling low, but our soul needs to experience polarity. We need the dark night of the
Yeah.
soul
Yeah.
to have this like
Mhm.
high up experience. Every time that I'm in my days that I'm not feeling great, I know I have to go down here to go back up here. It's okay, I'm human. And so yes, definitely purpose and these hard times in life, they are so deeply connected, and it's no coincidence that they are happening. Life is always guiding you, basically.
Life can get hella complicated. We chase success, we hustle for money, we strive to make an impact, we juggle the day to day responsibilities, and we try to make everyone else around us happy. But at the end of the day, does any of this actually matter? I can't answer that question for you because what truly matters is different for everyone. There is no formula, no blueprint, no checklist for a life well lived. But the one thing we all share is a limited amount of time to live it. And that's why I think facing your mortality is the key to unlocking a life that truly matters. Death is a mirror. When you confront the fact that this all ends, the noise fades away. The ego-driven shoulds, the societal pressures, and the endless to-do lists suddenly don't seem so important because facing your mortality isn't about fear. It's about freedom. It's about waking up, cutting through the distractions, and making choices that actually align with your soul. That's why I created YOLO, a 3-part transformational experience designed to help you engage with your mortality so that you can actually start living. You only live once. Are you ready to make the most of it? If so, head to the link in my show notes or go to www.IamEmilyBingham.com/YOLO. Yes, absolutely. And I love that you just said that because I think when we're in these dark moments, we think, oh my gosh, my life is over and the universe is cruel. How
Yeah.
could God do this to me? Goddess, whatever you want to call it, or whoever you want to call your higher
Mm.
power. But like the fact that that relationship ended and it guided you into this new version of yourself, like everything in life is happening for us.
Yeah.
And here you are, like, letting go of this old version of
Mm.
yourself to step into this new one who's so aligned with who you actually were meant to be.
100%.
S So, I love that you also had this kind of story as a
Mm.
child saying, like, "I'm not an artist. Everyone else is, like, more creative than me, and that's just not for me." So, can you talk a little bit about did those limiting beliefs or those old stories come up for you again as you were forging this new path into DJing?
Oh, yes, believe me, they did. And they did come up more than ever before. It's beautiful and intense. So I feel like when you're choosing this path of, for me, being an artist and going on stages and being seen by lots of people and basically sharing your life and being very vulnerable in front of a lot of people, yes, all your shit comes up. Sorry to say it that way, but I had to. So
So
well,
true.
basically, the biggest one I remember for me had been actually the one of, not feeling that, I'm not being enough, in short, not being enough,
Mhm.
kind
Yeah.
of, oh, I'm not skilled enough yet to play this gig, or I'm not creative enough, right? That was the early one. Or not worthy enough of taking up space. There's already so many people. I
Mhm.
had to
Mhm.
work so hard on that because, like, I was a very shy child. I didn't speak much, right? Even my voice, I was really like, do people even want to see me and hear me? And I'm like, I had to work so hard through it because nothing was there that was kind of holding me back anymore. I don't know what it was, but there was this deep knowing in my soul that all these limiting beliefs, all of a sudden I knew
Mhm.
they just wanted to be seen. And yeah, they keep, to this day, we all have our limiting beliefs and little challenges. They keep
Yeah.
coming up, but they're like cute now. Like when we work on these things, they kind of get a bit, less grumpy and massive and big. Like they're part of us. They're not bad. But I
It's
definitely,
so
I definitely
true.
had a challenge with them in the past. But after, especially the one like not being enough, I worked a lot on, well, I'm actually not doing this for me to be like, oh, I'm doing this to
Mhm.
feel good or feel like I'm enough. Because once when I noticed at one gig in the beginning, I was like, oh yeah, I'm feeling good now. Oh, wait a second, what am I doing here? I'm doing this for approval? Oh, interesting. Good
Yeah.
catch, right?
Uh-huh.
And so from that moment on, I'm like, why am I doing this? What is my big why? Oh, okay, it's very different. I'm doing this from the heart. I'm doing this for the people. There's a higher force running through me. I'm not doing this only for me,
Yeah.
but I'm having a beautiful experience, doing what I'm doing, creating the experiences I'm able to create. So that was a massive one for me.
Wow. I resonate with that so much. I have the same childhood wound around worthiness,
Mm,
and it sounds like you've done a lot of healing work, celebrating you for
mm,
that. So what like, it's so I think when we have this unworthiness wound, really what that comes down to is, like, learning how to love yourself and learn that we don't need outside approval, we don't need outside validation, that we are enough just as we
mm.
are. But like you said, it keeps coming up over and over again, and it's not nearly as big in the beginning. Like you said, it's like cute. It's like, "Oh, yeah, I
Yeah.
see that." So what's your process for coming back home into heart, to your deeper why, and, to allow you to continue to, like, expand as an artist and to
Mm,
hold, like, those big visions that we have for ourselves, but, like, know that they're not coming from a place of lack,
mm,
and that they are, like, truly from a place of, like, "I am enough. This is my soul's purpose." And, like, what do you have a process or a mantra, or, like, what's kind of
mm.
your how do you move through that?
I love that. I feel the biggest one for me in those moments that I do forget how blessed I am. That is a big thing for me in those moments that I'm sitting there and I'm like, I'm not feeling great, or everything is too much, or I'm overwhelmed. One thing that I do reconnect with is my, like I just said, actually my big why. I got back to myself, first of all, connect to myself, and that is very often through being quiet. I'm a very busy mind. Honestly, it's hard to stop my mind. I'm so busy at night. I lay in my bed and I'm like having all these visions. I'm like, oh, just stop. So I just quiet my mind. It's a blessing as well, right? I quiet my
Yes,
mind.
totally.
Sometimes even,
We're like
yeah,
twins, by
right.
the
I
way,
feel
like,
that. It's
same.
like something's happening. Honestly, I do use music a lot for that as well, to quiet myself down, to dance, just drop in, actually put on headphones, put on one track. Sometimes a banger, sometimes something very emotional if I feel like I need to feel something. So I quiet myself for a minute, drop back in with my heart, and I'm asking myself the question, why am I doing this? Right?
Yeah.
What is my reason for moving, my reason for going towards this, whatever it is. And I very often reconnect with it, and I get back into this energy. Ooh, I'm not just doing this, like I just said, not just for me. I expand into to bird's eye, and I look at this
Mhm.
world as well, that we,
Mhm.
with what we do, basically, with being an artist or inspiring people, whatever it is, with sharing our own light, our own passion, our own purpose, we can inspire others to do the same. And that means the world to me. Touching other human
Yeah.
beings and becoming a better version of themselves.
Yeah. I love that.
Mm.
The why is where it all begins, and if you're disconnected from your why, and I think we have to gut check ourselves on our
Oh,
whys too.
yeah.
Like, is this really for others, for impact, for universal good, or is this for ego driven? I mean, that's at least for me, I'll speak for myself on that. That's a constant, like, you
Mm.
know, internal dialogue that I'm having.
Mhm.
Um, so when you're thinking about, like, what's next for you,
Mhm.
um, I think we sometimes have these, like, hopes and dreams and aspirations. How do you have a process for differentiating? Is it ego?
Mhm.
Is this source guiding me? Like, are you totally in surrender as to what's the next step
Mhm.
in terms of how you're going to live out your soul's purpose and create this impact?
Beautiful. I feel it's in short, it's a balance act. So when
Okay.
in the beginning, I did a lot of like vision boarding and
Mhm.
manifesting and here and that. I want this and I want that. But then I noticed it actually came out of lack, like out of this feeling of
Yeah.
lack. I'm like, I don't have this yet, so I want it. When I noticed that in myself for the first time, I'm like, it's normal in humanity. Like we grow up with a lot of like the fear of lack and like in front of us, around us, everywhere, in the news. And um then I'm basically, from this experience of okay, lack is not is not a thing actually. Like when I look into my future now, I look into kind of, yes, where do I want to go to? I have clear visions, I have clear things that I
Mhm.
do want to achieve. So I do write down where I want to go, try to really connect and be not too hard on myself, but be like, I also allow myself to dream big for a moment. And if I want to
Yeah.
play on that stage, I'm going to write it down. I'm going to play on that stage. I'm very certain in that, right? So I write it down. Even if I don't believe it yet, I write it down. I look into the
Yes.
future and I try to connect with it, but not be hard on myself in this, like, I don't have this yet and I want it so hard. But going more
Yeah.
into this energy of, what would my soul's highest expression want? What would,
That's such a powerful
right?
question.
What would she want? And then I step into that and I notice all these beautiful things that she desires, but not desire out of lack, but desire because she knows she deserves it. And that was a shifter for me. That was a massive
Yeah.
shifter where I'm like, wow, okay, I'm now more and more. And yes, I still have moments of, feeling lack and such, but more and more stepping into this feeling of, I do carry it all inside of me and I am ready to take the action steps in the actual world to make it happen. Because I can't just sit here and meditate on it. It might be a bit harder to
Right.
get towards it. So I do need to take action, hold myself accountable, but also have this certainty. Like certainty is a big word here, I feel. Have this certainty that your dreams and your desires, they can come true. You just have to really
Yeah.
tune in.
Yeah,
Mm.
absolutely. I love everything you said, and that, like, your dreams and your desires aren't by coincidence. They're actually very intentional, and they're for you for a reason. They're for you to manifest them. And that's part of your divine
Mm.
design. And I think it's holding that tension of, like, I have this amazing capacity to do more, to expand more, and I am already enough.
Mm. Yeah.
Yeah, like, I had this mentor who always said, "1 foot in gratitude and 1 foot in desire," and I try to remember that all the time. It's like, I am so great as I am and so grateful,
Mhm.
and at the same time, like, I believe that my soul is guiding me in this way, and this is how I'm meant to express
Yeah.
myself, so I love that.
Mm.
So, Leo, when you kind of have a vision and then
Mhm.
you put it into action, because right, we can't just, like, sit and surrender. It's
Not
like that
just.
tension of free will and fate. How do you handle disappointment
Mhm.
when things don't go your way?
Oh,
How do you
it's
navigate those obstacles?
disappointment and rejection. I had to work a lot with that. When you start out as an artist, you get rejected a lot. I don't know if people are aware, but you get rejected a lot. Like when I started out, I was like thinking I'm on top of the world now because I played 2 DJ sets. I was in New Zealand, a small world, small bubble. I come to Germany and I write all these, aesthetic dances and they reject me. And I'm like, they reject me? What? Another mood coming up? I'm like, oh my God. So I got faced with reality. faced with reality of, you really have to sometimes, yes, work with, rejection and disappointment, but not give up was the lesson in it.
Mhm.
So I did
Mhm.
get rejected in the beginning. I did need to write them over and over again. That was my step there. I'm like, I'm not going to stop here. Even I'm disappointed and have this wound coming up that I'm not enough. I'm going to write them again.
Mhm.
I'm going to make another set and show them how good I am. Like, come on. Like, yes, and we need the ego for that as well. We need the ego to push us in that.
Yes, yes, you're
So I
right.
use the ego. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna send them the set again. And if they don't answer me, it's okay, but I'm gonna write them again. And then it landed. Then I got the first few bookings. One person actually said, he's like, I actually like that you really want to do this because it really shows me that, you want this. So I'm going to give you a chance.
Yeah.
And that's how my journey in Germany started. And that's how I got the bookings, how things started to flow. And I'm like, thank you, Leah. You didn't give up. Thank you for
Hell
not
yeah.
giving up.
I got chills when you said that because I think there's always this tension again of like, if you're on the path of like your soul's purpose and it's like, okay, when things are in flow, it's great. It's like, I'm on my path. I'm doing, what the universe wants me to. But then when you hit an obstacle, it's like, oh crap, is this a redirect or is this an initiation? Do I need to lean in harder and like evolve to be the person I need to become in order to reach this next level?
Mhm.
So I love, and I think it's attention too. It's like, try, but like, when do you know if it's the universe is guiding you elsewhere? Do you have a process for that?
Yeah, it's so beautiful that you speak to that because I feel lots of people are confused in that as well. It's like, well, why do you
Mhm.
push through? What if it's not for you? And I'm like, well, if you take a moment and just tune into what you're really passionate about, even little things, like something that makes your heart kind of beat faster or your soul go on fire or you have this feeling of something happens in your body when you do it or you're just in flow state
Mhm.
is one of the signs of passion and purpose. And so when I noticed that with
Yeah.
music, I was like, there's something higher here. There's something happening here that I don't know if I have that much control about. I'm just going to try and surrender to it because it feels like something that we call purpose, but let's see how it unfolds, right? And so I think it's a very, very important key piece, that we go into this kind of trust with our bodies. This is like one of the
Mhm.
things. If you tune
Agree.
into your body, just like take a moment and tune in, your body knows it, like, right? Your body is
Mhm.
like,
Yeah.
knowing the way and knowing where you're going. So, like, trust that inner voice, I would say, is the thing.
I love that
Mhm.
advice because the head and like you said, like, there is ego, right? Like, and healthy ego
Yeah.
too, and there's attachment.
Yes.
And often it's like we can like, if you tap into your body and you feel that like, "Okay, this is for me, and
Mm.
I'm gonna be open to how that manifests," right? But it's like, I still know that this is in my path
Ye
somehow, and that comes from heart.
yes,
Yeah.
exactly. You just
I
know
love
it.
that.
And, actually one thing I do wanna add is over time, it's like a muscle. It's like an intuitive muscle that builds. The more you
Mhm.
follow the little hints and guidance of life itself and your path, the easier it becomes. And in the end, it becomes inevitable. That's how it was for me.
Yeah.
Started doing it. It felt hard. I'm like, I'm working like the normal job feels so secure. Why am I doing this artistry right now where I'm pouring so much energy into the beginning, what am I getting back? Okay, I'm doing this for a higher reason. It's not always just
Yeah.
about the exchange of money for your craft, especially in the beginning as an artist, you got to work for it, in a way. So
Yeah.
like also going into
Yeah.
trust in that and just being like, yeah, we know it. There's a higher path.
Yeah, absolutely. And so do you happen to use any other tools like human design
Mm,
or astrology to kind of help you? I know like for me that's been when didn't have the relationship with my
mm,
body and with my
mm.
intuition, I kind of leaned on those more brain-based tools to be like, "Oh, like I'm a Leo, like my Venus is in Leo and I'm like an Aquarian moon," and like kind of putting those pieces together was able to help me say, "Oh, this is for me."
Yeah.
Did you go through any of that process or
Mm,
do you lean on those tools?
massively. Honestly, when I look back, like star signs and such. It had been the first thing. I think my oldest sister, she told me, "Oh, Leah, you're a Scorpio sun and a Scorpio rising." Oh my God. I'm like, okay, whatever. And then I got deeper into it and I'm like, I'm like, oh, that's interesting. And over the years, I feel like each year a layer is being added to it. Now I have such a deep feeling and embodiment of what it actually means. In the beginning, I was like, that's what it means, right? But now I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
that's how it feels. Like, that's the difference, right? So, I did drop also into things like human design deeply. Human design, and for me, it was helpful on my journey of like, how do I function the best in the world, right? And once I got into
Yeah.
that, for me, it was being a projector. I'm like, oh,
Oh, wow.
interesting, right? I'm a projector, but where's this energy coming from? And I found out that I'm a type of projector that has its own motor center. So I do, I can initiate in a certain way. But first I was like, oh, what does
Yeah.
it mean, right? And so all these tools really supported me a lot along the journey. So I would like always say like, get your stuff done, get it sorted and read, and at least once there might be some truth in it
Totally.
for you. Even if you don't fully believe in it, right? There's some truth in everything. So why not try it out?
I love that, and it's so true how it starts in the brain and then it kinda drops into your body as, like, truth if you're
Mm.
just open and curious about it. What are your numbers in human design?
I'm a I hope I don't mix it up. A 3 3 5 3 5. Yeah,
3-5.
yeah.
Okay, I'll have to look back at
And what
those.
are you?
Cool. What was it? I'm a 6-2
You're a
generator.
generator, 6 2. Yes, love it. I have some.
What is the 3-5 combination? Do
Well, basically, in
you
short,
remember?
three is a big trial and error situation. So I'm going through a lot of trial and
Yes,
error,
that's
gaining
right.
wisdom through it. The five is
Mhm.
the teacher that's very good in one-on-one, bringing people into their potential, but also massive projection field. So we also got that, and I'm a projector, so it's
And you're
like
a projector,
yeah, it's great.
so oh, that's so
It's
cool.
yeah,
That must have been hard being a projector though, 'cause from what my
yeah,
understanding of projectors is that they're, like, invited
yes,
in, right?
hmm
So how has that strategy worked for
yeah.
you in terms of getting your art out there and getting
It's been
bookings?
so interesting because it definitely is a massive thing for projectors. You do have to wait for invitations, right? And what does an invitation mean? I had to
Mhm.
learn this. First, I thought, do I have to like sit here and do nothing and wait for people to write me? Like, nah, that can't be it. That's boring. Come on.
Yeah.
I'm like, I
Mhm.
hate being a projector. I'm like, no, wait a minute. There's more to it. There's deeper sense to it. And then I noticed that projectors, if you're on your path, that's the thing. If you're on your path or saying yes to your path, life sends certain invitations your way. And that can be a
Mhm.
person, that can also be just an inner insight, that can be a text message or something that happens to you. Like all these things are invitations.
Yeah.
Same with me when I notice when I try to heartily initiate or want something from the mind, it doesn't work. If I want it from the heart, it works, right? And
Yeah.
so even with me, when I started, expanding my skills and dropping into mentoring, it did happen through invitations. People asked me for guidance. People were like, were literally coming to me, and I'm like, I have to do something. And then I
Wow.
flowed from there. So like little invitations from life, you learn how to work with these and also not to be a victim of, oh, I'm just going to wait for it all, because you can initiate in a certain way. You
Yeah.
just have to be aware.
I love that, and it makes me think of when you first got into DJing with your friend inviting you,
Yeah. Yeah.
to the thing on Facebook. And, like, so for our projectors out there, like, yeah, that what invitation isn't just a formal job offer or a formal, like, invitation to come play at a festival. It can be all different
Mhm.
types. So I love that. And I think that segues really nice way into this, other, like, kind of evolution of your dharma,
Mm.
of your soul's purpose as a teacher and a mentor. So can you tell us about, like, I guess sounds like people were asking you to do this work, and what are you kind of doing now
It's been beautiful.
in that
Yeah.
vicinity?
When I like tune into that journey of, looking back in my life, I've actually always been some shape and form of guide for people. I just look back and I'm like, even as
Mhm.
in like the eighth grade, I did like I went to my primary school and worked with my teacher and was like always trying to support others along the way. Sharing what I've known at that point, and like I always had that essence in me that I was like, I want to support others on their path, right? It kind
Yeah,
of died
yeah.
down when I was needing to find a purpose, where people ask me, "What do you want to do after high school?" And I'm like, "You're putting me under pressure." right? How should I listen to, I didn't say it in that moment of time, but now I would be like, how should I listen to my inner voice and my path if I, don't have space for it? So I took that space.
Oh, I
This is
love
how
it.
it, I went, like I said, to New Zealand. But for me, it was, yeah, people started asking me for guidance in DJing. They just really resonated with, when I shared things with them. It was friends mostly, or like people that I met. They're like, oh, I got into DJing as well. Like, there was this one person, and he was literally like, would you like can you like teach me how I can DJ? And I'm like, yeah. Feels like a yeah. My body says yeah, so I might as well do it. And I remember it till this day. I sit there in the train. It was actually at a festival. I sit in this train. My friend had taken these beautiful photos at this festival. And up until this point, I had a blockage of doing a website or doing anything. I sit in this train, I get the photos from
Mhm.
my friend, and I'm like, oh my God, I can finally put them on the website. I create a website. In that, I all of a sudden create this offering, which I'm like feeling just burst through me. I was like, okay, I'm going to share what
Yeah.
I know with other people. And the root of it was that with all these courses out there, I was like, it's great. You can learn how to DJ or mix or do this technique or do yoga or breath work, right? Whatever it is.
Mhm.
I was like, what's actually missing right now, what I feel like is makes my heart beat higher, is a fusion of, approaching music in an energetic way, but also keeping an
Mhm.
eye on purpose. Like, what is your purpose, right? What is really your soul's journey? And also, music is energy, so we can create these like experiences and approaching it in a way that we say,
Mhm.
yeah, we can go raving at a club. Like, we can do that, it's not forbidden, but we can also have these deep spiritual experiences. Bridging
Yeah.
worlds is like key of my work now. And I noticed that it's so
Love that.
valuable to be like, you're not wrong if you want to go to a club once a week. You're not wrong for that,
Yeah.
But you can also at the same time be a breathwork teacher. I'm really trying to step out of norms in that. And
I
so
love
that is
that.
basically the core part of my work, where I'm now like blessed. I've guided so many people already, and I'm so grateful, to see human beings, um, that when you share your experiences or knowledge with them, that they
Yeah.
take these seeds, make them grow, and create their very own unique thing with it. It's one of the most rewarding things to see other human beings step into their higher purpose and potential.
Absolutely. And, again, just distilling what you
Mm,
said for our listeners, another path to purpose is when you over it's not we talked about the breakdown to the breakthrough, but also when you are kind of overcoming a personal obstacle. And it's not that this was an obstacle. This was just that you were like learning about how to DJ and to build a business and a brand and to put yourself out there. So because you're so invested in that, you can now guide others too.
mm,
And I think anyone who has that kind of like teacher archetype within them, like you said, you've always wanted to kind
mm,
of guide others. It just becomes this like natural evolution of
mm.
yourself, and your purpose is an extension of who you are. So that makes total sense. So what offerings do you have right now for anyone who might be interested?
Well, my core, I always call it my baby. My baby is basically an offering called Soul Sync. What happens in that is that it's currently a 6-week journey where I basically take people one on one into their higher creative expression. And that for my part, it is through DJing and working with music. So basically going through what are the foundations that we first need to put in place to work with our purpose if you feel the calling to work with music. And secondly, what is all the technical aspects that come on top of it, right? We need to suss that as well. And then working with music, approaching music in an energetic way, but also having all the theory, and then stepping on the deck, DJing, creating experiences, like building on a very solid foundation is the core piece of my work. And so that is my baby, which I basically start every 8 to 10 weeks. I start around, I only take a handful of people on it per round because I really want to make it a beautiful, intimate container. So that's my baby. And apart from that, in 2025 in general, I have some retreats coming up, some experiences, which I'm always sharing about on the socials, which will be updated. And I feel like the most exciting ones. I'm in Europe and I'm in Bali and I'm in New Zealand, so there's like something for people all around the world. And I am planning to come to the US in 2026, but that's still in plan. But I'm coming. I'm coming. Yeah.
We're putting it out there,
Right?
universe. It's
Let's see this
happening.
planted.
Like, well, I might come to Bali.
Yeah.
When are you gonna be in Bali?
Well, in Bali, we're doing something in April.
Ooh, okay. Well, that's my second cue to go in April. Okay.
Okay, here we go.
Okay.
Yes, please.
Well, we will talk after
Yeah,
and stay in touch.
100%.
Those offerings sound
Mm,
amazing. I love it. I wanna sign up. I probably will.
I love that.
Um, so to kind of just
Mm,
wrap this up, I wanna know, like, if you could describe your truth, like your mission statement for life,
mm.
what would it be?
I feel my mission statement to put it, so much, but to put it into a couple of words, and the first that comes up for me is that creativity and life force energy. Creativity is life force energy. It's a gateway to connection with
Mhm.
ourselves, with others, to something deeper. So, whenever we step into our very own creative expression or our purpose, we create a gateway to really arrive deeply in ourselves, create deeper connections with others, friends, family, lovers, and connect deeper to, however you want to call it, God or spirit or whatever it is for you, right? But that is that. And so my part of my mission, I feel, on this planet Earth, is to really hold space and create space. I like the word create space. Create
Mhm.
space for people to rediscover their very own power, rediscover their very own potential capacity, connect with their bodies, and
Yeah.
to create in freedom. That is basically that as well. So to really come back to essence, but also to dream big. And I'm here to be a part of that and support that.
Yes. Oh, I love it. And if you could just give like one tip to someone out there who might be like feeling the calling to do something creative but is scared or is kind of has those like limiting beliefs
Mm.
and fears, what advice would you give them?
The biggest one, I literally have it hanging on my wall over there, is take one step at a time. So
Mm,
start
yeah.
small, but start.
Yes.
Take one step today, whether it's like investing in some shape and form of, if you need gear or you need to read something for it, watch a video or make time and space for it, right? Or
Mm,
share it with someone that it is what you're doing now. It's like action dissolves fear if we look forward.
yes.
And so, in that, really just making it happen. I keep saying that. Like, just try and take one step today. It doesn't need to be big, because big steps very often hold us back from actually doing something. If we're like, I need 100 grand to build this business, you will never do it. Right.
Yeah.
But if you're like, I can start today with $5, I can do a little tiny thing, even buy a little course if I need it, for like e-commerce or
Yeah.
branding or what it is. You can take a step today. You can do it. And that's the thing. Everyone can do it in their very own way. That's the tip that I want to speak out today, because it's very close to my heart.
It's so true. Just freaking start. And I think you said action dissolves fear. Was that it? Like, it's so true.
Mm,
It's so true.
mhm,
I love that.
mm.
Well, thank you so much, Leah. This was such a beautiful conversation, you guys. Do you just want to let people know how they can connect with you, find you,
100%. Well,
jam with you?
the easiest is you go on Instagram. Like, you can obviously dance with me wherever I am, but it's kind of hard to find me in this like one space and time on this planet. So, because the world is big, but in general, you go on Instagram. We all these days have Instagram, and you just type in "it's Leah Luna," Leah with an H, right? And you'll find me on there. And I do have SoundCloud. I do have YouTube. Pretty cool. I have some professionally recorded sets. They're so fun. You can also type in Leah Luna on YouTube and just find me there, or go to my website, www.itsleahluna.com. You'll find everything there as well. It's a pretty simple, it's just that name, nothing crazy, but that's how you can connect. I'm always happy to, talk to you guys. And, if you want to write me a DM or you have any questions, I'm always open to chat. So yeah, reach out if that is your desire as well.
I love that, and we will link everything in the show notes. Thank you guys for listening to our this amazing magical conversation with Leah today. So many like beautiful takeaways, and we'll see you in another episode soon. Thank you so much for listening in to It's Just Me, Emily. I hope that you enjoyed the show. If you did, it would be a great honor if you could subscribe and then leave a review. And if you do so, I will send you a beautiful hardback copy of my book, Love and Grief, to the first 20 people who subscribe and leave a review. When you do that, it just helps my podcast get boosted and more people will be able to come in and view the show. Thank you guys so much for tuning in, and I hope to see you in another episode.